Hi everybody, good evening. My name is Alan. On behalf of the crew of the show, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. The last couple of shows we've been talking about dedicated to the oneness, what this show is about. And tonight we have guests who manifest their quest for the oneness, their experience of the oneness in various ways, in various beautiful ways. We have a guest who manifests through her teaching of yoga, her writing about yoga, her videos, her experience of yoga. Susan Winter Ward, who is an internationally known yoga teacher. She has books and videos, and she's going to lead a demonstration to teach us, to help us, to guide us into that experience of oneness. Hopefully tonight we'll all have it through yoga. And we also have with us tonight Leslee Story, who is a singer-songwriter, and she manifests her love and her dedication and her desire to experience more and more in this life through her singing and her songwriting. So it should be, again, an extraordinary show. I know all of you have watched. Actually, I was counting up today. I was, going over some of the tapes, and this is our 43rd show, and which is an incredible thing considering that these are live shows and really the way the setup is here, we really don't have that much time to set up, and like 2 minutes before the show is ready to go on, we're going, has anybody done an audio check? I don't know, maybe you can't even hear me, and only the lip readers can tell what's going on. But we hope not. We hope everything's working, and we're just honored to be here again and honored to be with the guests we have tonight. And I know, speaking for the crew, it's just a joy to get all the calls we get and the letters and, thanking us. I was telling the director, I walked into a local store in town this week to get some coffee, and somebody just walked up and said, I love your show. And I thought somebody on the crew put her up to it, just the way she said it, but, she really was, enthusiastic about it. And, those kind of feelings from people really encourage us to just keep going and doing the show. So as we usually do at this time, I'd like to lead you in a short meditation just to set a tone for the show, to set an experience, to get us all in that place of quiet and calmness, because again, this show is going to be a show that opens us, that moves us, and hopefully brings us into that experience of oneness where there is no division, there's only love. So please join me. If you don't know, as I say usually, if you don't know the meditation techniques, just try to be quiet, just close your eyes for a minute, just take a few deep breaths, relax, and we have an incredible show for you, a wonderful show. So actually, somebody told me last week that I used the word incredible so many times. So I'm going to try to be conscious of not using that word so many times. So join me in a meditation, and here we go. Okay, thank you. And now we're going to have a song from Leslee Story, who's really a powerful singer-songwriter. And the song is No Way to Be, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
No
Hi, I'm with Susan Winter-Ward. I'd like to welcome you on the show.
Thank you.
So,
Namaste.
yeah, how are you? So, I guess that Susan's experience of that manifestation is through, at this point, through yoga. Now, how did you first get into yoga? How did that happen for you?
Well, sort of spirit tricked me into it.
It usually does. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I had a back problem, and I have a curvature of the spine called scoliosis, and I'd been to chiropractors and nothing seemed to help. I was swimming and doing everything I could think of, and then in 1 week 4 people said to me, "You should try yoga." And finally, when the 4th person said it, I said, okay, I'll do yoga. And I went to a class and I hated it. I felt like such a wreck. I couldn't do anything. But I knew there was something about it that was really valuable. So I decided to stick with it for a month, which is what I recommend to people, really.
Right, just try it for a while.
Try
see
it.
what happens.
Go twice a week for a month. Shop around for a yoga teacher that you really like, because everybody's different, and go to classes twice a week for a month, and don't judge it, don't analyze it, don't decide if you like it. Just go and take your body and go.
Right. And start off with the beginning classes, so you're not
start off at your own level, whatever feels good for you. And then at the end of the month, then you get to think about it and decide if you think it's benefiting you or not. And by the end of my month,
you knew that something incredible was happening.
I knew. I knew that if I didn't keep doing it, that there would come a day in my life when I would be really sorry that I hadn't.
Right. It just felt really right to you.
It felt totally right, and it's changed my life.
Right.
I wouldn't be sitting here if I hadn't done it.
Well, you might be sitting here with some other manifestation.
Yeah, but this seems to be the one that
really
fits for me. Yeah.
So, and then how long did you do it before you felt like this is really what I want to, impart to people and share with people, as a teacher and, doing a book?
Well, actually, I didn't have a plan at all.
Right.
I just went because it felt good and I knew it was helping my back.
Right.
And I was getting very addicted to my yoga teacher. And that scared me because I thought if she ever stops teaching, I'm sunk. Because I didn't know what to do all on my own. So I decided to take a teacher training. And then I got excited about it and wanted to teach my mother. And my mother wouldn't just take a class from me. So I got a bunch of her friends together and started a little senior class. And I discovered that I really loved teaching. So I started teaching them and then started teaching at a retirement community here in Santa Barbara. And of course, we're trained, if you don't know how to do something, go get a book about it.
Right.
So I went to look for a book about it, and there wasn't anything available. So
you mean specifically for teaching?
For teaching seniors.
Seniors, young at heart, as you.
Right.
Right.
So I literally.
Would you say it would hold that even simplistic yoga, even for people who are younger in age? Are there books for that, or was it just specifically for people over, say, 50 in Earth years or something like that?
Well, actually, physically, my theory, my take on this is that physically we're really ageless. And it doesn't matter whether you're 50 or 70 or 20. It's actually what matters is the condition of your body. And I've taught 20-year-olds that are in less fit condition than 60-year-olds because the 60-year-olds have been taking care of themselves. So Yoga for the Young at Heart as a beginning yoga program is really adaptable to anybody.
But when you look, there was nothing available for senior citizens in a way. No books, no videos, no instruction programs, and you felt that there was really a need for it.
Well, I wanted it because I found myself teaching seniors.
Right.
And I literally woke up one morning with this book in my head. And it's been magic the way things have unfolded. I was introduced to a publisher. My first book, he said, well, write me a few paragraphs and I'll see. And next thing I knew, he'd given me an advance. And I had a publisher and I had to write a book. And then a friend of mine saw the book and said, oh, you should do a video. And I said, I don't know anything about doing videos. And he said, well, I'll help you with that. And I said, well, you better. If you wanted me to do a video, you're going to have to set it up. And he did. And things have just clicked into place. I feel totally guided in this work.
And when you're doing it, I mean, when you're doing the yoga yourself or when you're teaching it, I mean, what is your internal experience? I mean, do you feel expanded? Do you feel connected? Do you feel like you're lined up with your purpose? How does that work for you?
Well, it's like the title of your program, Bridging Heaven and Earth. I feel when I'm really in the flow of it and really feeling connected, I feel like I am that connection between heaven and earth. There's no separation. No, and the energy, I teach very intuitively. I don't think I've ever really taught the same class twice because it just flows. It's just, that's why I do yoga as I'm teaching. And then I, in classes I move around and help the students, but I just get this, I don't know, I'm just tuned in, I guess, to what's
And the reception's been fairly extraordinary in terms of how many people seem to really take to it. And you also do one where actually for people who are chair-ridden or bed-ridden, I mean, yoga in chairs, right? You have certain series of exercises you've developed that are for people who, for some one reason or another can't really move on their legs. Isn't that so?
I have a little audio tape called Sitting Fit. And it's actually not just for people who are incapacitated in some way. It's for anybody who sits at a desk all day long.
So you can do it while you're working at your desk or...
Yeah, it's 4 little 15-minute yoga routines that you can do sitting in a chair. You can do it on an airplane. Helps if you're in first class because you have a little more room.
Right. Actually, I just booked a flight to go to New York, and it's like there's no aisle seats, there's no window seats. It's like, you mean it's like I'm a pancake for this trip across the country. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, you're sitting like this. But,
yoga exercise.
But you can still raise your arm overhead. I mean, you have to reach up to do the air thing,
It'll be the finger one.
Yeah, so that's been very popular because a lot of people like to do it while they're at work.
Right.
And it's also great for people who are just beginning yoga, who maybe are afraid to get on the floor because they're afraid they can't get up. Or
that would be a problem. Once I get down here, this is it. I have to be here until someone comes along.
Yeah, and that's very dangerous, actually. So it's a good way to build strength and flexibility to the point where you can actually do the video or do more of a complete practice.
Do you find it's like a stepping stone for people in terms of like spiritual growth too? It opens them to, I mean, you usually do it like a meditation at the end, right? I've listened to your tapes, or some sort of quieting at the end. I mean, do you feel that people, want to move on to doing, like more meditation or...
Yeah, yoga to me is a microcosm of how we live our lives in the macrocosm. And if people approach a yoga practice as a teacher for themselves, it's really interesting to watch yourself, watch how you approach your practice. If you push yourself too hard, if you get lazy, where you get scared to do a pose and so you don't do it, you shy away from it. It's just very much a personal unfoldment process, and a lot of people take it in the spiritual direction. In our, in the U.S. right now, a lot of people are just looking at it as physical fitness. But essentially, the path of yoga is to yoke. Yoga
is union. Right, and it's union with that oneness, God, or however.
Well, it's the balancing of opposing forces.
The yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang, the heaven and earth, the male, female.
Just the harmony.
And coming into balance within yourself. So, and my sense is that if we're in balance within ourselves, we're at peace with ourselves, and we're coming from a centered, loving place, we take that with us wherever we go in the world. And God knows we need it. So if I'm relaxed and somebody cuts me off on the freeway, I don't have to react in a hostile way. I can say, oh, bless that person, he's having a rough day,
You can give him half a finger.
No. Not
only
even.
A joke, everyone. It's only a joke.
No, you send him a little love,
Love. No, I understand. I was just joking. And you also were talking, or I read in some piece you had written, I don't know whether in the Yoga Journal or one of the others. I don't know if we've shown it yet, but I think we will later, that Susan was on the cover of the Yoga Journal at one point, a really beautiful picture. It's up around somewhere. But you were talking about that there's, in a way, there's no goal. It's just in the process of, like, in each moment being there. So why don't you describe that? I thought that was very beautiful.
Well, it's a process. Yoga is a process. There's nowhere to go. And
there's no better than someone else, or
it's a personal practice. It's where you are in the moment with yourself and with your body, and really tuning into yourself and seeing what feels appropriate for you in that moment, and not pushing yourself too hard and not overstretching, hurting yourself. And that's part of the microcosm of, if you push too hard in life, chances are you're going to push yourself too hard in yoga, in your yoga practice. So knowing that you can just be with yourself, and there's no comparison, and there's no place to get to.
Right, and there's no judgment in a way.
And just being aware of your own process of your practice. And one yoga teacher said, be where you are and stay there.
Right.
And I think there's no place else to be except where you are.
Right. Actually, I remember, we're seeing, I guess these are the cover of the book and the tape that we just saw on the thing. But I remember once there was a book for climbing down the Grand Canyon. So wherever you go, there you are. And I think that's so true. It's just we're heading somewhere. We're trying to, learn this technique. We're trying, instead of being with the process of at each moment where we are.
Right, and we're such a goal-oriented society.
Right.
And, that old saying, the way is in the going. There's no destination.
Right.
But the results of doing a yoga practice that's harmonious with yourself are physical fitness and health and balance and cleansing of your body and exercising your inner and outer self, and focus, and a more spiritual practice, and getting into meditation, and maybe giving up meat and changing your diet and being more relaxed and being more loving in your life.
Right.
And those are all benefits that just pile up as you do your yoga throughout your life.
Yeah, I did it practically, I'd say 5 days a week for like 25 years or something.
And you stopped?
Well, I just been real busy lately. I haven't really stopped, but I haven't been doing it quite as much.
I hear so many people say, oh, I wish I'd never stopped doing yoga, that I'm scared to stop.
Well, I still do it like a couple of times a week, but the one thing I always used to say is that keeping the spine limber is really one of the most important things a human can do in the physical body.
Well, the spine,
just do all
the spine is the core, the center of our life force.
Right.
Our Kundalini energy, and it's also the center of our structural body.
Right.
And if our spines are flexible and healthy, then it transfers to all the rest of our whole system, all of them.
Okay, well now I think we're ready for our second song from Leslee. It's called Fearless Child. So whenever we're ready for that, or let me just talk for a minute about if anybody wants any information. Usually I say it at the end of the show, but let me say it now so everybody's watching and they haven't gone to get the popcorn, whatever you do at the end of the show when the credits come on. If anybody wants to find out about where Leslee's playing, or where Susan is giving workshops, I know she has one we'll talk about later in Hawaii in 1998 at some point, to give a call please to 805-687-2053. That's 805-687-2053. Okay, Leslee, Fearless Child.
Telling me you're crying, but I see your smile. Your light stays brightly shining through dark veils of of a fearless child. Inside your heart's been dying. Well, I know you're kind. Forget your fear of flying. The sky is calling to the fearless child. God knows what you've been through. Now leave your lies, become the truth. Go run into the wind, oh fearless child, where have you been? Well, you've come from the love of ocean wind. You've journeyed through a sea of light. You've managed to bring us the candle of birth and trusted all the seasons light. Fearless child of the universe. Fearless child of the universe. You keep telling me you're trying. Well, I believe in you. Your strength will last forever, whatever you may choose. You're climbing sacred mountains, the clouds so high. Embrace the space in silence, walk on through shadows, just passing by. God knows what you've been through. Now leave your lies, become your truth. Go run into the wind, oh fearless child, where have you been? Well, you've come from the love of ocean wind. You've journeyed through a sea of light. You've managed to bring us the candle of birth. You trusted all the seasons light. Fearless child of the universe. 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 Fearless child of the universe.
Wow, that was really beautiful. Thank you, Leslie. That was great. So I did get a call this week, and somebody asked me if I could talk a little bit about working together. Their feeling is that it seems like it's difficult for people to work together, and especially work together without egos. We probably all, if we looked at it all, know that it's a difficult problem on Earth here, and it's a difficult situation because it is important that we work together. It is important that we cooperate, that there isn't conflict at every turn or on a lot of turns. And I was talking to him about it for quite some time, and he asked me, that he thought that it would be a nice thing if we could share it, on the show. And I think that part of it, or a good part of it, is that we think that our idea, that our information, that our way of doing it is the right way, and that is more important than cooperation. So what I've been really trying to say to people and trying to implement in my own life is that cooperation, that one of the major functions now at this time in history, moving into the new age, moving into the new millennium, is that cooperation, working together, is more important than each of our individual visions. That we all have visions, that we're all getting visions, meaning we have experiences, that we think we have knowledge of a certain experience, knowledge of a right way to do it, knowledge of a proper way, a better way to proceed in a certain situation. And the reality is that us learning how to cooperate is really more important at this time than that particular vision, that we're getting everybody's, or people are getting, especially in the new age in a sense, that people are getting information from Archangel Michael or Sananda, who's Jesus in another form or something like that. So that information, or a certain guru even, so that we can't get along, that we can't cooperate, because this information is the right information and my guru is the right guru. And it's just not that way. So please, let's try to experience the oneness. Let's try to experience the place where there's no conflict, but only love and only cooperation. So now we're honored to have Susan do a yoga demonstration for us tonight with Kitty and John. So Susan, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Good.
Are you ready? For those of you who are watching at home, if you want to join with us and just make a little space for yourself and try a little bit of yoga, that would be great. So stand up if you're sitting down and bring your feet together, the balls of your feet together and your heels slightly apart. And just stand quietly, close your eyes for a minute and let your arms rest by your sides. And see if you can feel your connection between the soles of your feet and the floor. And then take a long, deep breath and press the soles of your feet down and lengthen your body against gravity. Pull up through the crown of your head and as you breathe, inhaling deeply, lifting your ribs away from your hips, lengthening your waist, and exhale completely. Just let your body release. And again, deep inhalation. Pull the breath in behind your breastbone. And exhale, and just bring yourself to center and let go of everything that's been on your mind all day. Good. And then inhaling, bring your arms out to the side, palms facing up. Lift your breastbone up and forward and gently press the tops of your thighs forward. And take a couple of deep breaths and stretch out through your fingertips. So you have the sun on one hand and the moon on the other, and you are the center of the universe. And breathe. A couple of deep breaths right here. And then inhaling, bring your arms overhead and lift. Really lift your ribs away from your hips. Press your feet into the floor. Good. And exhaling, stretch your arms out to the side and dive forward, leading with your heart. Keep your back flat as long as you can, and then come all the way down. Just hang from your hips. Let your head go. Let your neck be soft. And whatever your level of the pose is, if your forward fold is right here, that's just fine. Listen to your own body and let yourself release to whatever level is comfortable for you. Good. And then bring your fingertips either to the floor beside your toes or your hands to your shins. And sweep the crown of your head forward and arch up. Let your belly button drop toward the floor. And let your chin reach out in front of you. Good. Take a couple of breaths. Feel a stretch in the back of your legs, knees soft and straight. And then exhaling, release forward again. Let your head go. And then inhaling, start rolling yourself up one vertebra at a time. We'll keep your arms soft and your head loose on the end of your neck. And keep pressing up through your vertebra like you're pushing your spine up toward the ceiling. Bring your shoulders up around your ears. Roll them back and down. Good. And again, shoulders up. Pull them tight up around your ears. Roll your shoulder blades together behind you and release them down. Good. And inhaling, raise your right arm out to the side, palm facing up. Long, deep breath. And then raise your arm all the way overhead. Reach up. Reach up through your fingertips. Let your left hand rest against your left thigh. And as you exhale, arch over to the left. Inhaling, lift the whole right side of your rib cage. As you inhale, feel your ribs separate and lift. Good. And exhaling, reach over. Try to keep your back flat. Keep your tail tucked under. Deep breathing. Keep reaching. As you inhale, lift your ribs, and as you exhale, reach out through your fingertips. Inhaling, come back to center. Turn your hand to face outward. Push out under the heel of your hand. Spread your fingers wide as you lower your arm. Good. And the other side. Inhaling, raise your left arm overhead. Reach all the way up. So press your left foot into the floor and reach through your fingertips. Take a long, deep inhalation, and as you exhale, start arching over to the right. Good. Inhaling, lifting the whole left side of your rib cage. Reach up. Inhale, exhale, reach a little further. Listen to your body. Be gentle with yourself. Good. Keep yourself breathing. Let your body and your breath move together. Deep breath. Inhaling, come back to center. Turn your hand to face outward. Spread your fingers and lower your arms. Good. And inhaling, both arms overhead now. Reach up. Lift, interlace your fingers, and press your palms toward the ceiling and lift your forehead up toward the back of your hands. Reach up. Let your belly button drop back toward your spine. Good. One more long, deep inhalation, complete exhalation. Really press up there and release your fingers. Exhaling, dive forward again. Bring your breastbone down first and release. Good. Couple of breaths. Let your head go. And inhaling, hands on the fronts of your shins and arch up. Bring your chin out in front of you, flatten your back, long, straight legs. And as you exhale, step back with your right leg. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Bring your right leg back behind you. Come into a lunge and lift your chest. Try to let your fingertips rest on the floor. A long, straight line of energy from your back foot all the way up your leg, up the front of your body, and out through the crown of your head. And take a couple of breaths, deep breathing, long, deep breathing. Good. And exhaling, press your hands into the floor, turn your toes under on your back foot, and stretch back, both legs as straight as possible. If you need to, you can come up a little bit. That takes a little more balance. Or you can let your hands rest on the floor so both legs are straight. Good. Keep your breath going. Long, deep breath. And press your hands into the floor. Step your feet together behind you and push back as if you're pushing the floor away from you with your hands. Heels dropping. Let your chin drop toward your chest. Let your head go. And breathe. It's called a down dog. Keep your breath long, strong, and even. Good. And inhaling, step your right foot forward between your hands. And bend your knee. Let your left leg slide back behind you. Come into a lunge on the other side. And inhaling, pull your breath from your back foot all the way up the front of your body, out through your crown. Long, deep breath. Keep your breath going. And let yourself relax into the pose wherever you can find a place of lightness. Be gentle with yourself. Good. And gently press your hands into the floor. Turn your toes under on your back foot and stretch your front legs straight. Both legs straight. Reach forward. And remember to go at your own level, whatever that is. Be gentle with your body. Keep your breath going. Good. And bring your feet together behind you. Push your hands down into the floor. Come down onto your hands and knees. And take a long, deep breath. Inhaling, lift through the crown of your head and your tail. And let your belly button drop toward the floor. And as you exhale, push yourself down and roll your spine up. Stretch up. Inhaling, come forward. Drop your belly button down again. And reach up through your crown. Reach up through your tailbone. Exhaling, roll it back. Press up. Inhaling, forward. And exhaling, come back to center. Good. Inhale, raise your right arm out in front of you and press your left leg back behind you. Balance. Deep breathing. Push the energy out through your toes. Long, deep breath. And release. And other side. Inhale, raise your left arm and your right leg. Breathe. And release. One more time on the other side. Left leg, right arm. Breathing. And release. And left arm, right leg. Keep your breath going. Good. And gently release. Bring your hips back onto your heels. And come into what's called a child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front of you and let your forehead come down to the floor. Try to keep your hips against your heels. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, creep your hands out on the floor in front of you. Stretch. Deep breathing. Good. And gently press back through your spine and bring yourself to seated on your heels. If you can't sit on your legs, you can rock yourself to the side and just bring your legs to the side. Okay. So gently bring yourself into a comfortable position. Let your hands rest on your thighs and close your eyes. And listen to the rhythm of your breathing. See if you can focus in on your breath as your lungs expand and contract gently. And let your body just relax into place. And check yourself out. See if you feel any different now than you did 12 or 13 minutes ago. Just do a mental scan of your body. Traditional closing for a yoga class is Namaste.
Wow, that was really nice. You know, it's interesting. I said the same thing last week when we had the healing demonstration from Nora. But when these exercises start, or these demonstrations start, or the healings, or whatever goes on the set here, usually the energy is very beautiful when we start. But by the time it's over, it's even more beautiful, and you can really feel a change happening from the beginning of it to the end of it, and it's truly extraordinary. I almost said incredible again, but for all those who send me thesauruses, I'm trying. I don't know why I pick on one word for a show and use it 1,000 times, but I'm working on it. So we're going to have Leslie sing another song when she gets set up, and let me tell you a little about next week's show, or, you know, as I've said on a lot of the shows, if you see it in Santa Barbara, it's 2 weeks from now, and in other cities, it's next week. We're honored again to have Joel and Serafina Andrews on. Joel is, I would say, the foremost harp player, certainly in the new age. I mean, he has just numerous albums out and is an extraordinary man. And Serafina too is a poet and an author, and it should be a night to remember again. They've been on before, and the show has been really wonderful. So is Leslie ready for the next song? Okay, the next song is High and Low. High and Low. Leslie, take her away. Thank you. Well, thank you, Leslie. That was really beautiful. And I want you to know that yoga works because Susan, Kitty, and John are all over 160 years old. So I'm telling you, they look true. It's really an amazing thing that. So tell us a little about this workshop you're doing. You're doing it it's like a retreat, 3-day thing in Hawaii where...
No, it's a whole week.
A week, wow.
And it's at a beautiful retreat center called Maunalea Gardens in up near Haiku on the island of Maui. And it's going to be March, I think it's 8th through 15th. And it's going to be fabulous.
Really?
We'll have great vegetarian food. We're planning to do 3 different outings, snorkeling and go to the birthing pools, the sacred spot on Maui where the ancient Hawaiians gave birth to their children, and take the road to Hana. And we have a guide who's going to show us all the secret spots. Not the road to Hong Kong.
No.
And we'll do yoga twice a day, every day. And we're going to do some different kinds of processes, have a guest that does a process called syntropy, which I'm not too...
You have to have 16 legs to do it.
Maybe, I don't know. It's a body-mind kind of process that she teaches. And
so there are going to be other teachers there. You're going to be teaching the yoga, and then there's this one other teacher?
That's one evening guest. We're going to do a sweat lodge ceremony. Everyone gets a massage. And it's going to be quite a wonderful trip.
So is this the first really long retreat you've done?
No, I did one in February.
And that was really a wonderful experience?
It was wonderful on the Big Island. In fact, some of the people are coming back and bringing friends.
Really?
So we can only take 30 people. So
Are you taking over a resort? Is that?
Yes.
The whole place?
The whole place, and it only holds about 32 people. So I encourage people, if they want to go, they better sign up right away.
Yeah, again, if anybody's interested in where Leslee's playing or Susan's audio, video, tapes, call me anytime when you get this, when you watch the show, because it's all over the country at different times. Again, at 805-687-2053. That's 805-687-2053. So what are your plans with this? Are you planning on doing, expanding out and doing more books or more general work for the young at heart, the over 160 crowd?
Well, I honestly don't have a plan. I just keep showing up.
That's how the show is. As you can tell, there's very little plan.
It seems like Spirit has a plan for me.
Right.
And I just keep showing up when it's fun. And my biggest joy is teaching. I love to teach, and if people want to put together a workshop, I'd be happy to show up and teach it. I'd love to do more videos.
So in other words, if people saw the show in New York or Washington or Philly and they could get enough people together, you'd come out to teach anywhere.
Oh, I'd
more
be
or
happy
less.
to.
You'd love it. Yeah,
I would love it.
Mean.
That's what brings me joy, is introducing people to yoga, and I've seen such incredible transformations in people's lives that I can't think of anything more fun and more exciting and more valuable to do with myself.
It's interesting. I was reading in one of your pieces of literature that one of your students was Frank White. Frank White is a yoga teacher now. Did you know that?
Frank White.
And he was 76 when this was written, and he's, I think, almost 80 now. And you should see, it's unbelievable. The guy is, he does, he's kind of short and bald, so he doesn't look like he's 15 anymore. But the way the guy bounces around is limber. It's unbelievable.
He's on my video, and he's actually wasn't one of my students. He's also a yoga teacher, but he's a walking advertisement for the benefits of yoga.
But
he has quite a story.
Till he was, very old. Age is a weird thing, but
right. He'd only been doing yoga.
In the 60s, I think he didn't start yoga.
He'd only been doing yoga, I think, about maybe 8 or 10 years, and he was dying when he started doing it. And at the time we filmed the video,
he was a smoker and drinker, and he was in
he had
Hollywood.
High blood pressure, and he was on all kinds of heart medication and blood pressure medication. And when we did the video, he was teaching 17 yoga classes a week. Right.
I think when the time I heard about him, which was sometime last year, I think he was teaching even more than that. And when I heard it, it was like...
He's a wild man.
Yeah, he's really incredible.
Yeah, he teaches in Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's quite an amazing man. I feel very honored to you know, be able to take classes from him once in a while. Yeah, there's some amazing yoga teachers. There's a woman named Estelle who lives in Boston area, who's 80 years old. She celebrated her 80th birthday by doing a headstand for 5 minutes, something like that. And yoga definitely works. The Delaney sisters, those women that were in their hundreds, both did yoga every day. I mean, I'm 85.
Right, are they the ones who smoked a pack of cigarettes too?
No, I don't think so.
Again, I'm only kidding. No, sometimes you read these stories, you know, how did you live to be 110? Well, I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day, and I had 4 glasses of wine and 2 Jack Daniels fifths. And you go, you
Hey,
know,
if it works.
Right, yeah, but I don't think it works for most of us, that's for sure.
Well, yoga's been called the fountain of youth, and I think it definitely deserves that title.
I mean, I know a little about it. As I said, I've done it for a really long time. I did the Yogananda method, you know, Hatha yoga, and from what I understand, I mean, it came into being, you know, centuries ago in monasteries for, you know, the monks to. It was almost like a moving meditation for them, you know, an active meditation.
Yeah, yoga was developed. It started in India over 5,000 years ago, and no one really knows where or how it came to be. Some people say it was handed down by the gods, but it was actually developed so that people could sit for incredibly long periods of time and meditate without their bodies distracting them. And it has, you know, evolved over the centuries. And what we have today in the United States is a very different approach to yoga than the original traditional spiritual approach.
More movement and more activity, would you say?
And more focused on the physical.
Right.
As far as Hatha yoga, there's 7 branches of yoga, and some are more spiritual, more meditative. Karma yoga is more work-oriented, and Hatha yoga is the physical, what we look at as physical fitness yoga today.
All right, well, I guess, again, it looks like the show's almost over. So I just, you know, really want to thank for the crew and for everybody. I'd like to thank Susan and Leslie for coming, and Kitty and John. And again, you know, whenever this show is on next, please try to watch it. There's going to be Joel and Serafina, who are extraordinary people with extraordinary stories. And let's try to work together. Let's not have our particular ways of doing things, our particular ideas, our particular concepts prevent us from being together and working together and experiencing that love together. So good night. God bless you. Thanks for watching.